Hi, welcome to episode 5 of the Pearls and Polish podcast. My name is Rachel, and I'm coming to you from just outside Sacramento, California. You can find me on Instagram as pearls.and.polish, or I'm also in Ravelry as Briar RNC. And links to both of those are on my website, which are in the description below. So a lot has happened since episode 4. I know I skipped the kind of March kickoff episode. Just so much was going on that it didn't work. So we're just going to do all of March in one episode. Starting off with this camera, I won a GoPro 8 in a raffle. So I'm trying out this new camera and we'll see how it goes. Usually I just record on my phone, but so far, so good. So I have my notes right here because there's just so much to share with you guys over what has happened in like the last month since I talked to you. So first off, right after I did episode 4 for February, I actually went to San Diego for my birthday to go see my sister. And it was so nice to be there for a weekend. It was only 2 days, but it was nice to be there on my own without the kids and just spend time with my sister. So we did Universal Studios and went to Harry Potter World, spent way too much money on souvenirs, got to see more of her town, go to lots of different restaurants that she enjoys. Definitely went and visited a yarn shop. Which I will show you and talk about later. But yeah, that was a great weekend. And then the following weekend was the Woolberry Virtual Retreat. This is their second one. I missed last year's, but it was a great day. So it was just a day of classes and just hanging out and just crafting with other crafters. So there were 2 classes. The first one was a color theory class with Tony from TY Yarn Crafts. And that was really interesting just to hear her take on color and how to use color and how to create palettes that you enjoy and that work for you. The biggest thing that I took away is that there are colors that you enjoy and then colors that you wear. I'm trying to get the 2 to work together. So I definitely enjoy neons, but I don't wear neons. I wear more jewel tones, greens, blues, purples, more darker colors. So got some really great suggestions of how to mix those colors together and just create a really cohesive color palette. So that was a great class. And then we had a sock technique class with Lindsay Fowler from Larkspur Knits, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of Lindsay. So that was great to do a class with her. And she was introducing her new sock heel. So it's a afterthought heel. So it was great to do a class with her of just how to find your afterthought heel, where to place it, how to place it, cutting in versus putting in some scrap yarn. And then she just came out with a heel. It's called the shortbread heel that should be coming out soon. It was included in our kind of retreat box. So I'm actually working on that heel right now, which I will show you guys in a little bit. And then in the afternoon, we had a class with Bethany from Woolberry, and she taught a yarn dyeing class. So we got to dye our own yarn. Which was something I've always wanted to do, but have never had a chance to try. So that was fantastic to be able to do that with someone who actually knows what they're doing and be able to learn that way. So I will show you that in a little bit. So after the Woolberry retreat, I don't remember if it was the following weekend or like 2 weekends later, but then it was Stitches West. Stitches West has finally come to Sacramento. It's been in kind of the San Jose Bay Area for a long time. But since Sacramento now has its new convention center, they're going to have it in Sacramento for a while, which makes it so much easier for me to go to. So I was really excited about that. This year I was only able to take one class, which was totally fine because I took knitting ergonomics with Carson Demers from Ergo I Knit. And if you don't know who Carson Demers is, he is like the ultimate word on knitting ergonomics. He's a physical therapist, so his job is ergonomics. And he wrote the book on how to knit comfortably and safely for longevity. So that was an all-day class with him, and just learned so much on how I sit in my chair and how that can damage my body, how I hold my needles, how tight I hold them, how I hold my yarn. And then he gave a really good argument of why you should have multiple types of needles. So I typically knit with metal needles, and so he had us try out some wood needles and some different kinds of wood needles. And so I just bought a set of wood needles, but those should be coming in later this week. So I can't show you those, but when they come in, I will show you. So yeah, that was a great class of just learning what my body's doing, how it's doing it, how that's going to create problems over time. So small changes I'm trying to make a little bit at a time so I can just have more years of knitting. So yeah, that was the last month. It was a lot, but it was really great. So this episode's not going to be kind of following our typical kind of outline, but that's all right. I will share what I've been working on. So the Make 8 sweaters, I had the Aurea cardigan and this sheep camp sweater. So I'm still working on the sheep camp sweater. I decided I'm going to give it to my sister. It's just going to fit her a lot better than it's going to fit me. So I'm going to now kind of adjust and knit it to her size. So I'm still working on that. The Aurea cardigan, I finished it, and I finished it 5 days early. So it's currently on the blocking mats. So I washed it last night. So now it's kind of drying. It should be done drying probably by tomorrow. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. And then I finished my February socks, of course. I think I finished them like the 27th, the 26th. It was close, but I finished those. And then I finished my Rockefeller socks that I knit using the High Desert sock pattern, which you guys know is my favorite. I'm wearing them right now, but I'm not going to show you my feet. That's just weird. But anyways, finished those up in February. And then, like I said, I finished my cardigan early. So even though I'm 5 days early, I'm not going to start my next sweater just yet. I'm going to be good. I'm going to start it on the day I'm supposed to start it. I am going to swatch probably a day or two ahead of time so that I know when it's time to start, I have the right size needles, just have a beautiful sweater. So that's kind of it for knitting. Far as what else I'm working on, right now the only project I have are my March socks for my year of socks, and that came in at the end of February. So I haven't shown these to you guys yet since I didn't talk to you in March. So this is the label, and this is Verse Yarns, and it's called Stairway to the Stars, and it's inspired by Ella Fitzgerald. So this is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% gold stellina, and that's like just like little gold flakes in the yarn. It's a 2-ply, 438 yards to 100 grams, and then it has a little mini skein, which is 80-20 superwash merino nylon. And I will show you those colors. So this is that. Let's see if I can get any closer. That's the colorway. It's yellow. I'm not a big fan of yellow, but I really like this because it's got hints of green and purples and pinks in it, so it's not just yellow. And then the little gold flakes just makes it look really pretty. And then here is the mini skein. So that's a green variegated color. And that green just has lots of depth to it. So you have bits that are more olive, bits that are just brighter. So those are really pretty. And then this is kind of a mess. Here it is in sock form. So I am doing my kind of rib sock that I just really enjoy. I've given it a name. It's called the Original Classic socks. So I'm in the process of writing down the pattern, which is a little nerve-wracking since I've never written a pattern before. But anyways, the story behind the name is a friend of mine in college. For everything, you know, that was your original classic. The drink you always get, that's your original classic. That favorite food you have is your original classic. So it just felt fitting. There's nothing more classic than than a rib sock, but it's original because it's fit for you. So yeah. So the two needles that are going on here. This is kind of a mess until it's explained, and then it makes a lot more sense. All right, so this is where the heel is going. So an afterthought heel for sock knitting 101. An afterthought heel is the heel of a sock that is put in after you knit the sock, which makes sense for the name. So you put it in after. So with this particular pattern, I knit in kind of some waste yarn so I could just pull it out quickly. And I am actually doing it while I'm still knitting the body of the sock. So this is where the foot and the toe is going to go. So I still have a bit more to go. But I'm putting in the heel now so that I can try on my sock and make sure that it's going to fit, and that I put in the toe where I need it to go. So even though it looks messy, I'm only working on these two needles on the top, and these are just kind of sitting pretty until I need them. So I just started the heel like 20 minutes ago. So those will be done later today, and then I can keep knitting the foot. And then for the second sock, since I'll know where I need to start my toe, since I am counting in the front, remember every pin is 10 stitches, so I'll know by the end of this sock how many stitches I have in the foot. I won't need to do this double needle mess. I can just knit the whole sock and then go back in and put in the heel, since I'll know exactly where that goes. Okay, so acquisitions. I know I said no new purchases, and that was just a dirty lie. So I accept that. I'm not gonna apologize. This bag right here, this has everything I've gotten or have been given. Some of them I've been given since the last episode, but it's fine. It's fine. So I'm gonna pull these out one at a time and kind of talk about them, starting with these two. So these are from Spun Right Round, and this colorway is called Flying Elvis. And I mean, look at that. If that's not Elvis, I don't know what is. And this one's called Glitter Bomb. It's blowing out a little bit with the light. As you guys have noticed, this is not my usual setup, but I had access to this room today, so thought I'd try something a little different. It's fine. Okay, so these two were a gift for my birthday. I did not buy these. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law live in New York City, and when they were out visiting, I was telling my sister-in-law about this yarn shop there, because they were hiring for her field of work. And so she very kindly got me a gift card there for my birthday. So these are not colors I normally gravitate towards. Remember when I said I took that color class? These are not colors I wear. But these are colors I love. I love this bright blue. I love this neon. I mean, look at that. How can you not love that? So it was one of those like, yeah, be adventurous. You know, shoot outside your comfort zone. So I don't know what I'm gonna make with these, but these are gonna be fun. So that's item number 1. Okay, so next, Lisa from Hickory Lane Fibers. She's gonna be the death of me. So on her Instagram, she posted that she was working on her 2 Valentine's colorways, and I was really good, and I didn't buy them. I wanted to, but I didn't. And so she, in her story, she posted that she had used a wrong color and had just come up with this just different colorway. And so I immediately messaged her like, hey, if that doesn't have a home, send it my way. I will happily buy it. So she actually had quite a bit in this new color. So she did a little update on her shop. And so I was able to buy some. So this is Hearts on Fire, and it is just beautiful. So when I saw this colorway, there's dog hair all over it. I immediately thought of the olive and bean sweater that Andrea Mowry designed, that's named after her daughter Olive, and Lola, who goes by Bean, from Lola Bean Yarn Co., that they did together. So I saw it, and this sweater comes in adult and child sizes. So I immediately thought, I have to have this for sweaters for me and my daughters. So it's not just for me, it's for them too. So I bought enough for that, which means I had to buy a color to go with it for the color work. Oh, this is upside down. There we go. So this is Knit Picks, and this is their Swish DK in Dove Heather. So I have like 14 of these, but I'm going to do a color work sweater for me and the girls of these 2 together. So that's the next one. I'll put that over there. Okay. Going along with Lisa's stories on Instagram, she had posted this picture of this color, Hearts on Fire, but with like a black on it. So I've done a couple sample knits for Lisa. So, you know, we're like, you know, Instagram friends. So I messaged her like, that one yarn I didn't see on the website. Is that available? So we talked about it, and she said it was a sample from her supplier. And she was thinking about ordering it for her next update, which is going to be about Queen, the band. So I'm excited for that one. But long story short, she gave it to me, which was so sweet of her. So now I have this one as well. So it's the same colorway, but it's a marled yarn. So the black is actually like black wool that's in there. So that's going to be a pair of socks. And I can't wait to do these ones. It's going to be gorgeous. So that's the next one. Then I went to San Diego. I'm looking at my bag on my floor. So then I went to San Diego, and of course I had to stop by the yarn shop. So it's called Apricot Yarns, and it's in Liberty Station, which is a bunch of old military barracks that they've converted to restaurants and coffee shops and different stores. So that's a really fun place to go if you're ever in the area. But we had to go to Apricot Yarns, and I bought something for my mom because, you know, I had to bring her souvenir back. But I bought something for myself because I was on vacation and it was my birthday weekend. So this is Less Traveled Yarn, and it's a brand I've known about, but I haven't used before. So I've seen them in different shops. But these are all my colors, like that dark blue, the rust colors, those are my colors. So this one's called Burnout. These will most definitely be socks. Maybe a hat. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I had to get something for myself, right? Because I was on vacation. And then, what's next? Stitches. No, not Stitches. Then was Woolberry, the Retreat. So this was the yarn that came in the Retreat box. So you could use this for the new sock pattern that Lindsay Fowler put out for the Retreat. So this is called Forest Walks, and you've got the green for the main skein, and then this little one is more yellow. This is more kind of pinkish, taupish color. So that came with the box. I didn't buy this. Well, I bought the box, but so that came with that. And then we dyed our own yarn in one of the classes. So the tag is Woolberry, but I dyed this, guys. We all did it together, and she sent all the supplies that you need, but it's like blue, and then we put charcoal colors, and then we put rust speckles, and it's one of those, like, I would buy this. Like, I would pay money to have this in my stash. And I made it my own self, as my kids say. So I'm like super chuffed about this one. This is getting pushed up in the knitting queue fast. Just because, you know, I dyed it. So I'd like to try dyeing some more. I don't know when. I don't know when I'll have time. I mean, who has time these days? But yeah, I made this. Yay. Okay, so we had Woolberry's Retreat. Then was Stitches West. So I bought this. This is called Starry Night. I didn't realize it was called Starry Night. I just grabbed it because it was pretty. But I got this from the Firebirds booth. And I'm assuming it's Starry Night after the Van Gogh painting. Because you've got those, like, just those colors, those purples, those blues, the dog hair, the oranges. So yeah, I'm guessing this is after Van Gogh. So I bought this because, you know, I had a coupon, so I had to buy something. And then walking around the just kind of the shop, I had this sweater pattern that I wanted to do. It's called the Ponderosa sweater. And it's a cabled sweater. And for some reason I had in my mind that I had to have it in green. So I talked to the lovely ladies at Neighborhood Fiber Co. I'm not gonna show you yet. So I talked to the ladies at Neighborhood Fiber Co. and I showed her the pattern I wanted to do and said, I really like this in green, like a dark green. She goes, okay, we can do that. But if you do it in a dark color, the cables won't pop as much. The samples that are done for the pattern are in dark colors and they look gorgeous. But she said, but a lighter color will pop more. So she pulled this color, instantly fell in love with this. It's not the first color I gravitate towards, but it is a color I would wear. So this is on her Studio sock base, and it's pulling up kind of blue. It's not that bright of a blue. But it's called Holland's Market. And it's covered in dog hair. I have a white dog and I clearly love dark colors. It's a struggle. But anyways, I bought 3 of these so I could make this cabled sweater. When? I don't know. Probably next year. Since I just added 3 more sweaters to my queue, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll get done. I'm 5 days ahead of schedule on my sweaters, so it'll be fine. Okay. And then my Yarn Club for the Gods came in from Coley of Paisley Knits, and it's after Dionysus, and I saw the colors, I loved it. These are my colors. I mean, look at that. That is gorgeous. I can't see my camera. Okay. Like I said, it's pulling up way brighter than it actually is. But I love those colors. However, this is in DK. and my subscription is for sock yarn. So I messaged Coley right away, like, hey, this is wrong. It's right, but it's wrong. And she's so gracious. She's going to send me the sock yarn. But I still get to keep this. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's gorgeous and I love it. And my pile is falling off the table here. That's okay. And then, this is the last one, I promise. Rachel from 6 and 7 Yarns. She's based out of Colorado. Super sweet. So one of her friends is having some health issues and some big medical expenses coming up. And I follow her friend. Her Instagram handle's Knitting Nelly, I believe. So she had already put her sock patterns on sale to try and help cover some expenses. So Rachel from 6 and 7 also said, I am going to put some sock sets up that will have a 20% discount if you buy the pattern. So I ended up buying the pattern twice, which I am totally okay with. I happily did that. But this is what I got, and this is also covered in dog hair. It's fine. So this is called Gloria, and it's a one-of-a-kind sock set, and this is in her Clover base. So that's 75% superwash Corriedale. So everything on this table in front of me is superwash merino, or some of it. This is not. This is organic merino. I don't think it's superwash, but it's all merino. Corriedale is just a different breed of sheep, so the wool's a little different. So it doesn't ply as tight, and it just feels more woolly. Not scratchy, just woolly. So anyways, this is Corriedale and nylon, and then the mini skein is merino. So I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but this one is more just woolly, and this one not so much. So I got those. Just yeah, just moms supporting moms. You know, Knitting Nelly is a mom. Obviously I'm a mom. It's tough when you're trying to just get through the day and then you have something like medical expenses. So yeah, moms helping moms. That's what we do. So that's everything. I am a liar when it comes to acquisitions, but I try. But I also fail, and that's okay. So I'm gonna put these away in the bag real quick. Okay, so after all that yarn goodness, other things going on. So I've been reading a lot, and by reading, I mean listening to audiobooks, which apparently triggers the same parts in your brain when you actually read the book to yourself. I'm a big fan of audiobooks. I can listen to them all the time, anytime, doesn't matter where I am. I cannot read a book while I'm driving, but I can listen to one. So I am doing the Bloody Jack series by L.A. Myers, and it's a series I've read multiple times before, but I just needed just something comfortable and familiar to go back to. So doing that. So it's the story of a girl named Mary, and then she changes her name to Jackie, and so her name is Jackie Faber, and is set during the Napoleonic Wars, and she is living on the streets because she's an orphan, and to kind of better her lot in life, she disguises herself as a boy and joins the Royal Navy. And just all the books are on her adventures in the Royal Navy. Then she spends time in America, in Boston, and then each book is kind of set differently. So the first one is Bloody Jack, where you meet Jackie and how she kind of figures out how to disguise herself as a boy on a Royal Navy ship. She goes through puberty at that time, so, you know, as all of us do, thinks she's dying when she gets her first period because there's no one to tell her otherwise. Figures all that out, so she's totally fine. and then eventually gets caught. So the second book is Curse of the Blue Tattoo, and she's in Boston at a girls' school, and all her adventures in Boston. Then it's Under the Jolly Roger. She's back in England and is disguised as a boy for this event and gets press ganged back into the Royal Navy, and just kind of how she manages that and escapes, and then turns pirate for a little bit. And then the book I'm reading right now is In the Belly of the Bloodhound, and she's back in Boston with her friends at the girls' school, and they all get kidnapped and are put on a slave ship to be sold. So yeah, just how this group of girls gets through that. So yeah, it's a great series. It's one of those where I like it better as an audiobook than as like a physical book. I have the first book, and it's wonderfully written, but the woman who narrates the book is so talented. She does all the voices in all these different accents, and she's going from British, Irish, Scottish, American from the Deep South, American from the West, different parts of the Caribbean, and she sings in all these voices too. So it's just a great series to listen to specifically. The only thing I don't like about this series is that everything happens to Jackie. Jackie's always getting into trouble. Jackie's always good at this or at that. But she does have her struggles. She does have kind of her personal struggles. So she's not like hearts and sunshine all the time. So it's a great series. And then what I'm watching right now, still watching Doctor Who. I kind of took a little break because it was getting a little heavy. I needed something a little lighthearted again, so I'm rewatching Schitt's Creek, which I've loved that show. I like that it's 20 minutes, so it's easy to watch 6 episodes at once. It's also hard to turn it off when it's like 10:30 at night, and I know I have to work in the morning. But it's a great series. Very lighthearted. You don't have to think too hard about it. So I can kind of knit and work, and still, watch something. So that is episode 5. That's a lot. But thank you for coming back for episode 5. I will see you in 2 weeks for kind of April's kickoff episode, and hope you guys are just enjoying this transition into spring. So I will see you guys in a couple weeks.